Hello, kids. Today, I am going to tell you a story about the mystery of the vanishing shadows. Maya, Kabir, and their best friend Tuffy the Beagle loved after-school adventures. Every day they met in the old neighborhood park, which stood next to the quiet and slightly mysterious Hilltop Library. The library was famous for its huge wooden doors, dusty old books, and a tall clock tower that hadn't worked for years. One Friday evening, as the sun dipped behind the tower, Maya suddenly gasped. "Did you see that?" she whispered. Kabir looked around. "See what?" "My shadow." Maya pointed at the ground. It flickered, like it disappeared for a second. Kabir laughed. "Shadows don't disappear. Maybe a cloud passed." But Maya shook her head. There was no cloud. Look! All three of them looked down, and this time, they all saw something strange. For just one moment, the shadows under their feet trembled, pulled slightly backward, and then returned to normal. Tuffy barked anxiously, his ears straight up. "Okay," Kabir said slowly. "That was weird." The three friends decided to investigate. They followed the direction the shadows had moved, toward the Hilltop Library. As they approached, the wooden door creaked open by itself. Tuffy whimpered. Maya took a deep breath. "Let's be brave. It's probably just the wind." Inside, the library smelled of old paper and lemon polish. Everything looked normal except the librarian, Mrs. Daisy, wasn't at her desk. "She's always here," Kabir whispered. "Where did she go?" Suddenly, they heard soft humming. It was coming from the basement staircase, a place none of them had ever been allowed to enter. The humming grew louder as they stepped down the stairs. It was a strange tune, like a clock ticking blended with a soft melody. At the bottom of the stairs, they found a dim room filled with old lamps, rolled maps, and huge leather-bound books. In the middle of the room stood a crystal globe, glowing with a pulsing light. "What is that?" Maya asked. Before Kabir could answer, the crystal flickered. Their shadows stretched toward the globe like rubber bands being pulled. "That's what happened in the park," Kabir said. "It's sucking shadows." Just then, Mrs. Daisy stepped out from behind a shelf. But she didn't look surprised to see them. In fact, she looked worried. "You children shouldn't be here," she said softly. "But now that you are, I need your help." "Our help?" Maya asked. Mrs. Daisy nodded. "The shadow globe is acting up again, and if I don't fix it soon, all shadows in the town may vanish." Kabir's eyes widened. Why would shadows vanish? They're just shadows. Mrs. Daisy smiled gently. "Shadows aren't just darkness. They are your silent companions. Without shadows, things become unbalanced. Plants, animals, even people feel strange. The world needs them." Maya stepped closer. "What made the globe misbehave?" "A missing gear," Mrs. Daisy said, pointing at the clock tower through a dusty window. "The gear from the tower helps power the globe. Someone took it, and I think they're hiding in these tunnels." "Tunnels?" Kabir gulped. Mrs. Daisy pushed open a wooden panel behind the shelf. A narrow tunnel stretched beyond it. Tuffy barked bravely and rushed ahead. The children followed. The tunnel was cool and smelled like wet stone. Strange whispering sounds echoed around them. They reached a fork, left or right. Tuffy sniffed the air and ran to the right. "Good boy, Tuffy," Maya whispered. The tunnel opened into a round room lit by a floating lantern. On a stone pedestal lay a shiny brass gear. But they weren't alone. A tall, thin shadow moved on the wall. yet there was no one standing there. "Who's there?" Kabir whispered. The shadow lifted an arm and pointed at them. Maya's heartbeat thumped in her ears. Why is a shadow moving alone? Mrs. Daisy stepped forward. It's a lost shadow. When the balance breaks, some shadows escape their owners. They become confused. This one took the gear. The shadow lowered its arm as if it were apologizing. "It didn't mean harm," Mrs. Daisy said softly. "It was only trying to stop the globe from pulling it back." Maya walked closer. "We can help you return, but we need the gear." The lost shadow hesitated, then gently nudged the gear forward. Maya picked it up. The shadow bowed once, then melted silently into the wall. They hurried back through the tunnel, up the staircase, and into the basement. Mrs. Daisy fitted the gear into the globe's base. The crystal glowed brightly, then dimmed to a soft white hum. Outside, their shadows returned to normal, steady, calm, and right under their feet. Mrs. Daisy smiled. "You three helped save the balance today. Are there more magical things here?" Kabir asked excitedly. "Oh, many," Mrs. Daisy said with a wink. "But those stories are for another day." As the children walked home, Tuffy wagged his tail proudly. Maya looked back at the library. The clock tower hands slowly began to move, ticking for the first time in years. Kabir grinned. "Guess we solved a real mystery today." Maya nodded. "And maybe there are more waiting." So kids, that's all for today. If you like our stories, please press the bell icon. See you next time with another story.